What is up, everybody? It is Matt from Paranormal, back with some new evidence fresh from the vault. This evidence comes from one of our many visits to Lakeside Cemetery in Conway. This investigation was a little bit cooler because we actually had a little bit more history than we normally do for some of the people that were buried there, which I believe actually helped with the investigation. So we kicked things off with a spirit box in a location where the first time we went, we kept getting the voice of a woman named Annie or something calling itself Annie. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So we're at the same place where we started off. This is the area when we first came out here a couple years ago. What drew us over here was we heard it sounded like kids laughing, and it was down kind of in this area over here. And if you were to look at this place from a bird's eye view, that's all forest and old railroad track that no longer is in use. So this area, to hear anything like that was really weird. And then we picked up on the name Annie multiple times during a spirit box session. So we figured, of course, we'd come right back to the place where we first started it all and see what we capture. What about that forest over there? Did somebody used to live back there? You
Hear
say
that?
we?
Me.
Me? Did it again. That sounds like a guy. Oh, man, that's some weird shit coming through. All right. If you are with me, can you tell me your name? My name is something. I heard my name is, and then I didn't get the rest. Can you tell me again? Yes?
So, for the second spirit box session of the evening, we moved back to a place we've investigated before, and that is some old graves near the back of the cemetery. What makes this place unique for us is that the very first time we were here, I was having some technical difficulties with my backpack, as you'll hear me tell about in a minute, and Kenny picked up some strange voices that sounded like children actually talking about what was going on at the time. It was very weird, so we decided to do a spirit box session again there. So check it out. All right, so we moved on to a second section of the cemetery we've explored before. What makes this section really interesting to us is the very first time we were out here investigating, we were right by these two graves that are to my right here, and I was having some technical difficulties with my backpack. So you can hear me kind of cussing in the background of the audio, messing with my bag. But Kenny picked up what appears to be kids talking on an EVP. Like he didn't even mean to, he just left his recorder on, didn't remember, and we wound up accidentally picking up two kids talking. So we kind of wanted to come over here and engage in another spirit box session to see if we can make contact with them or possibly something else. So let's get into it. So again, if there's somebody out here with us, can you tell us your name? Paul? Creamy.
Nick Grobus.
So we have a box over there in between two graves. If you want to come near us, that box lets us know that you're near. So you can walk next to that and those lights will come on. Can you walk next to that box for us? So what we normally like to do after we do a spirit box session or an EVP session is we like to leave one of the REM pods behind and we leave our night vision camera on it to see if we get any activity after we've left an area. Every once in a while we'll see some activity on the REM pod. Well, this go around, we got a very strange EVP that sounds like a child, which weirdly enough is in the spot that Kenny caught the audio of what sounded like children the last time we were there. So check it out. So for our third spirit box session of the evening, we found an area that was kind of tucked away behind some trees and brush. And come to find out, it was the plot of a very prominent family in the area. So Kenny and I decided to do another spirit box session here. Take a look.
So before we came back out here, we had done a little research on this place because we didn't know that much about it when we first came out here. It was just this massive cemetery that a former member found for us. But me and Matt were just now walking around kind of exploring spots we hadn't checked before, and then we found the Burroughs family plot area. And it's actually really expansive. It's huge. And so this is kind of the spot where, you know, the people that started all this, in a very prominent family in Myrtle Beach, where most of them are buried at. So we decided, of course, to come over here, see what we can pick up, and we're going to kind of move around a little bit in here and do an extensive session and see what we can find in here. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and start a spirit box session. I'm going to try something with you. Can you repeat what I say? I'm going to say a word. You repeat it. Can you say dog? Dead. Can you say cat? Said it right after I said it. Can you say cat again?
So for the last spirit box session of the evening, Kenny and I decided to scope out an area where we believe two local brothers are memorialized. So let's get into it. Okay, so we just moved to a different area of the cemetery. This is right around where we believe the twins were buried about that I was talking about in the very beginning of the episode. So we're going to kind of see if we can maybe do a little communication here. Maybe some of the family that's around can maybe impart us with some wisdom as well. So I don't know. So without further ado, man, let's get into spirit box session. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm going to say that one more time. Is there something here with us that's keeping everyone else from speaking? Got the one drunk ghost out of the bunch.
I've been drunk for 100 years, boy.
I've been drinking. Is there something that somebody's afraid of here? Or should we be afraid?
Did it say be afraid?
No.
What did it say?
It sounded like it said no. So there's nothing here that Kenny and I should be afraid of? Are we welcome here? Are Kenny and I welcome here? I was really had high hopes for this area. I mean, not that this area in particular is like, you know, prone to anything. I was really hoping we'd see some of the lights and things that you saw the last time we were here. What is it, dude?
The way it ended. He said, no. It's just cut off.
No.
That was so perfect.
Shut him off.
He's like, get out of
Shut
here.
him down.
He's like, buddy, it's late. Go home.
Just go to bed, dude. Don't you guys got lives you have to live?
He's like, you fucking asshole.
Can't you just go to your homes?
He's like, oh,
and sleep in your beds?
Just go.
No, you got to be up here keeping us awake at all hours of the night.
No.
They're all from New York.
Yeah, all of them. Not a
them.
single one is from South Carolina. They're all New York. Get out of here.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Now, so yeah, I think Kenny and I were talking before we came over here, and I think we're going to do a dual spirit box session. And then we're going to take everybody over to the mausoleum and kind of check out and see what's happening over there.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Bye.
So before Kenny and I ended the investigation for the evening, we decided to do one last EVP session near the only mausoleum in the cemetery. This mausoleum is where a riverboat captain and his wife are buried.
All right, so this is the only mausoleum in the cemetery. And inside of here is a riverboat captain and his wife. And just before he had passed away, one of his wishes was that he would be buried in this mausoleum with his wife in a tomb that's above ground. This is, you know, the first time we came out here, we never even saw it. It's kind of tucked away, so it's a little odd, you know, the position that it's at. But the other part of his wish is that after they were buried, was that the key would be thrown in there. So basically, it's locked off for good. We took a glance. I know that other people I've spoken to have said they've looked in there before, never seen the key, not since at least like the 1930s. But we figured we'd come over here this last spot of this night. We're going to go ahead and just do an EVP session, see if we can pick up anything, and then go from there.
One more thing, like I noted on earlier, I know I probably sound like I'm repeating myself, but I do think it's interesting, is right around this area, I think the second time Kenny and I were here, he believed he saw a lantern.
Yeah, kind of like the little row over.
Yeah, and well, I mean, it stands to reason that a riverboat captain would use a lantern to navigate the waters at night. So it's interesting. Are they related? We don't know, but still interesting to point out. So
yeah, and I've actually spoken to some other person that said that they had seen something similar to that, and that when her and a group of friends came out, they came straight in the cemetery and went right to this area. And they said just as they were approaching this area, it looked like a figure was standing just outside of it and had vanished right before they got to it. So I don't know if it's this particular person, but there's something about it that's obviously active. So we'll just see if maybe they'll speak to us.
sounds good.
Can you tell us anything about this area when you were still alive? And are you able to see it now and see how much it's grown? Can you tell me anything about the key? Is the key still in there?
Was there any specific rivers you sailed on? Any rivers that you enjoyed more than others? And what was the name of your riverboat?
So one of the things that I will say as far as doing EVP sessions, what I've seen that works really well, we'll come up and ask questions. I can't remember if I've ever actually been able to get something to answer me back like that, unless I went back and looked. But it seems to be the moments when we're not so focused on them, and we're just kind of doing our own thing and walking through, that they interact with us.
No, you're right. It's usually when we're distracted by something else, that's when they choose to communicate rather than a back and forth conversation.
I almost think part of that might be just and I don't know how it works. I'm not going to say I do, but like a crossing of timelines. It seems like, our timeline just kind of crosses with theirs, or we're in the area where their energy was once at, or whatever it may be. But, so when we do these sessions, it's mainly, we're just trying to see if we can get that response. And sometimes we have nothing to go off of, so we just ask the normal questions. But, who knows? Maybe we got something, maybe we didn't. But we're going to go ahead and probably wrap this up. It's getting really late, as you can probably tell. We're going to go ahead and do that and then check out what we've got tonight and then go from there.
Sounds good, man. All right.
So as an added bonus, we're including some EVPs that we caught from prior investigations. We're always going back through older evidence to see if we missed anything, and it turns out that in this case we have. So the first piece of evidence comes from a cemetery we actually investigated before we investigated Lakeside. Kenny had some personal ties to that cemetery, so we decided to check it out and caught something very interesting. I apologize in advance for the volume being so high, but that's really the only way you're going to hear this.
Like 10. And I think that her...
So for this next EVP, Kenny was going through the audio from our last investigation to All Saints and caught this. Very creepy. Again, my apologies for the volume.
He's over here.
I hear him getting closer.
Come here. Come here, bud.
All right. Well, that does it for this last batch of evidence from the vault. As always, thank you for those of you that already support us. And if you're not yet a subscriber, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for us right now. We'll see you next time.